Oprah Winfrey name is trending online for all the wrong reasons. And hey, I'm not against anything and what people say they have experienced with her personally. But I want to bring her to the spotlight in a different way. I'm not trying to condemn her. I'm not trying to go and pull all the bones out of the closet. I just want to speak on her and how we felt about her when she first premiered her show in 1986.
Oprah Winfrey, and welcome to the very first National Oprah Winfrey Show!
I want to give a brief insight on how I can say the Black community saw her collectively. I really don't know. There's no way to know how the entire Black community felt about her, but speaking about how I felt and the Black folks around me at the time, I can speak for them and myself. We liked her. She was like the talk show host of the century. We rocked with her. We rooted for her. And there's nothing you can say bad about Oprah. As far as we were concerned, the Black community rocked with Oprah and supported her until we didn't. I'll be back. When Oprah Winfrey Show came out in 1986, what I can say the Black community was thankful for that she didn't come out like a clown, like a Sambo, she was this highly intelligent woman, it was reported that she came from rags to riches, intellectual, just, represented Black women in a way that we hadn't really seen besides, the Cosby Show, Clara Huxtable, and it wasn't that many positive, true representation of Black America and Black women in Hollywood at that time. So when Oprah came out with her show and, the topics she discussed when she first came out, it was on point. There was nothing you couldn't get our time the way Oprah captured our time. She was the only one, like as I said, besides the Cosby Show and A Different World, who captured and held the majority of Black America's attention for a few hours at best. At 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, you couldn't pry Black folks from the TV when Oprah or Ofra was on. That's what some Black folks said, Ofra. Everything and anything was on pause at least until 3:58 p.m. when her show ended. Any emergency had to wait, or we'd hope it could wait. We had to watch every second of Oprah. One of the reasons why she had such a strong impact on Black America is because of this.
On May 19th, 1983, Diane Downs and her 3 children were shot on Old Mohawk Road in rural Oregon. Police scoured the crime scene for months, searching for the weapon, a .22 caliber gun that killed Cheryl, paralyzed Danny, and wounded Christy and Diane. The gun was... Mother of 2, Barbara Sheehan, was a devoted wife of 24 years. She worked as a school secretary and enjoyed attending her neighborhood church. Today, 48-year-old Barbara is just months away from facing a jury who will decide if she should spend the rest of her life behind bars. My guests today call themselves skinheads. They say their heads are shaved for battle.
I'll speak for myself and those around me, as I don't know why most of Black America fell in love with Oprah, as I said earlier. But for me and mine, our fascination came from how she boldly showcased just how messed up white America really was and is. Until then, all there were a sprinkle of TV shows and black movies that did their best to portray Black America as multifaceted people who, of course, we were able to live regular lives free of crime and drama. The majority, if not all, media was set on portraying poverty-stricken Black America riddled with crime and laziness. That was the description of Black America in the 80s and prior to the 80s, aka the Black exploitation movies. You know, that wasn't a positive depiction of us. It damn sure didn't represent the majority of us, but that's how it's said. That's how Hollywood dug itself out of the pit it was in, broke, busted, and disgusted. They used us and then still kicked us out. But that's a different story in itself. Black folks didn't want... The media was just basically trying to make it seem like Black folks didn't want better for themselves. We messed up everything associated with us. One of the clips where there's a clip where Oprah, or the TV show Oprah did, where she went to some racist county in Georgia, Forshey or something like that. And you had this white man stand up all bold, proud, and dumb, saying that there was a community he grew up in Atlanta. He's from Atlanta. The community he grew up in, now it was just downtrodden and forsaken. And he was basically saying Black people didn't care.
To Forsyth County. I lived in Atlanta. I was born in Atlanta. And in 1963, the first blacks were bused at West Fulton High School. And I go down there now and I see my neighborhood and my community, which was a nice community, a nice neighborhood, and now it's nothing but a rat-infested slum area because they don't care.
What I find when people point out that example is a sorry example, because what they always seem to leave out intentionally is when white folks leave the community, every time they leave, abandon, run, scram for the hills, they take all the money and vast amounts of resources with them. What's left is a skeleton. No jobs, or the jobs are low pay, no opportunities for anything better. So you put a group of poor people together with no real resources or any resources. Black folks have never had resources in this country other than welfare. And then they strangled you with that. You know, so many stipulations and, you know, obstacles and hoops you had to jump through just to get this funky welfare, food stamps and what have you. But true resources we've never had. And then, you know, you look today and see how they can just pull money out of their anus and give to people, newcomers in this country, illegals in this country, and then around the world. But when it comes to Black folks, how they gain their wealth, oh, please. Okay, back on topic. You have a community that when you put Black folks in a community that used to be white and has been drained of all its resources, what you end up with is a community filled with hopelessness and frustration and rage. My mother taught me this when I was a child. She taught me this a long time ago. She would, you know, we would drive around the communities, and she would point out what communities used to be predominantly white, and then you would see it change drastically, and then along with changing demographics, it changed the wealth. It became poor and abandoned looking and forsaken. And she would explain how that happened. So, but everybody wants to leave that out. As always, everybody wants to paint this picture that when Black people come around, everything just goes to hell. And that is a damn lie. So let's continue. Back to Oprah. She brought what was missing to daytime TV. We didn't even know it was missing until she came. We did know, but we didn't know. And then when she came and she started putting her shows on very interesting subjects, we were like, wow, all this time you had us watching Bill Donahue, who was the whitest white man in America, and his audience reflect his mindset and his subjects. He talked about things that we weren't really interested in, or if, you know, we wanted to look at a daytime talk show, he was the only one we could really watch, except other than, what's his name? Geraldo. Other than Phil Donahue and Geraldo, that was all we had. And those two didn't represent Black America. And if they did have a show about Black America, it wasn't something, you know, that we, you know, aspired to watch, because they always painted us, like I said, in a negative light. Oprah brought true flavor to daytime TV and an awareness unlike any other talk show host has had the ability to do now or ever. She gave Black America a window into the lives of white America in a way I really do not believe anyone in media, white media that is, would have dared to attempt. It was too easy to keep Black folks front and center when it came to highlighting everything wrong with the group, Black America. White media did not show the dark, screwed up, immoral side of white America until Oprah made them. Oprah caused every Black American to clench their pearls and raise their eyebrows to the heavens, blown away by the relevance of what actually was happening behind the scenes of white America, or behind closed doors. They weren't only just soccer moms and corporate dads, you know, because that's what the image they always gave us, is soccer mom that wakes up in the morning and makes sure her family is right and tight and take the kids to school. The perfect, highly intelligent kids that made sure they got to school on time, and then made sure she saw her husband off. That's the image they wanted to give us. White America was right. They were perfect. And then came Oprah. She displayed that soccer moms, they weren't just soccer moms, and corporate dads weren't just corporate dads. Some of them had the same problems that Black America had. They had more money and an opportunity to help cover up their sins and shame. We found out through Oprah Winfrey show that some of them were actually drug addicts, had terrible marriages, children. Some of them had children plotting to kill them, middle-aged women conspiring to pay someone to take a family member out. Those shows exposing the secret of white America had Black folks sharing glances of knowingness. We knew white America wasn't as pristine as what the media tried to make them out to be. We were just waiting for someone to prove what we already knew and suspected. Oprah was the one who took not only the job, but she was excellent at it. No one, especially non-Blacks, could say a damn thing bad about Oprah. That is until we started to see the change. Her topics, man, they became like so bland and diluted. It was like 95% of her topics were geared to white America. Like what soccer moms did while their perfect children were in school, or 20 different ways you can make a mayonnaise and cucumber sandwich, or I'm a bored soccer mom who wants some kind of flavor in her life. Of course, I'm being funny, but Oprah's shows weren't relatable to Black America anymore. And it seemed like she could not care any less how we felt. True story, I even wrote a letter to her production. It says something like, "Your shows suck and you do too." For real, I didn't write a letter saying that, but I do recall actually writing a letter expressing my disappointment and how her production began neglecting the group who used to ride for her. Of course, I didn't get a response. I didn't expect to get one. But real talk, that's the MO of how you become successful in this town. To go far, use Black America, then drop them like a bad habit and run with the main bunch, aka white folks. Then only reach out to Black America again when your ass is in trouble with white America. Then Black rappers weren't digging her because of her starch stance against misogyny in the rap lyrics. I don't agree with her being so hardcore against rap. If that was the case, if she really wanted to make that kind of a stand, she should have been hardcore against the establishment After all, they are the ones who have the money, who produced the music she boycotted. And they are the ones who created the atmosphere for black folks to drown in self-hatred, which produces misogynistic rap music. See, everything is attached to everything. No one has clean hands. That's where her stance was half cocked. In no way am I condoning misogynistic rap. I despise it. I cannot stand it. And you got to wonder, like, many people pointed this out. I think even Dave Chappelle made a joke about it. It was like, are they going to showcase a white Jewish rapper who says misogynistic things about women who look like him? You know, do they have white rappers that come out misogynistic things about women who look like them? It's like black men are the only ones who are encouraged or enjoy saying things negative about women who look like them. I don't understand it. I mean, I know the root of it, but you know, if you want to be upset with rappers, you need to be upset with the ones who pay them to do it. And it's being said that they're made to do it. Actually, you can't really make people do anything. You know, they're only made to do things because they don't like the options. Either you do it or you get out. So nobody likes that option. So in a sense, they'll say they're made to do it. Yeah, you're made to do it if you want to keep making this money, if you want to keep being famous. But you don't have to sell your dignity just for money. I'd rather be poor and have my dignity than rich and, you know, people looking at you sideways. Because not all black folks is digging this misogynistic way of rapping. They're not. But you want to make it seem like it. But not all black men is down for that. And not all black women is down for it. I can't stand it. Like I said, you will not be anywhere around me playing that ish. And the nail in the coffin was she already had, you know, black rappers and other black folks who don't have an issue with rap or those styles of raps or the words in rap. She already had them pissed off with how, you know, it seemed like she was disrespecting all rappers, especially rappers who look like her. And then it's like you boldly let it be known that that's how you felt. You know, when I say you could point out all kind of music. You know, what about the rock and roll? Let's talk about heavy. Nobody wants, since rap has been put in the spotlight, nobody want to talk about heavy metal and how it affects people and households. You know, y'all need to go back to the 80s and 70s when they was talking about heavy metal and how dangerous it was. But people want to have a short memory when it comes to heavy metal, right? Okay, let's continue. The nail in the coffin was the interview with Michael Jackson's accusers after he was deceased. Now, that was just wrong. In my opinion, and a lot of other black folks' opinion, that was wrong. How could you accuse someone before the world and they not have a chance to defend themselves? Even our messed up, biased, racist court system would give a psychotic murderer the ability to defend himself or herself. So when she did that interview after Michael Jackson was deceased and he had no way to respond, it was like, yeah, his family can speak up for him, but it's still not him, you know? So yeah, that was just wrong. Even if the person was alive and you did the interview and you offered them away, you know, the ability to come and refute what's being said about them, and they refused to do it, at least you gave them the opportunity to do it. You know, you gave them an opportunity to refute what was being said about them or what had been said about them. But when they're no longer here, they don't have that option to try to clear their name. What was even colder is when she interviewed him. That interview was the talk of the town. When she interviewed Michael Jackson, over 90 million people watched that interview. That was like out of this world. Like I said, no one has been able to walk in Oprah's shoes when it comes to being a talk show host. But you know, I watched it. I think it was 2 parts, however many parts she had. I watched all of them. And this was in the 90s before social media. So, you know, for her to have that many views and it wasn't advertised on social media like now, that was a big deal. She gave him an opportunity to, you know, respond to the allegations against him. And she gave him the option of giving us an understanding as to how he grew up. You know, we read articles and we heard rumors and this, that, and the other, but actually hearing it from his mouth made a world of a difference. And then she does something as cold as interviewing people who claim to have been victimized by Jackson. That was way low down, worse than a dirty shame. I can say I've never watched the interview she had with his accusers, and I never will. I used to talk to someone who worked behind the scenes of Hollywood for years. This person has been, it had been, at the time I knew this person, they'd been in Hollywood for about 20-something years. They worked in all sectors of Hollywood. Music, TV, movies, all that. Behind the scenes. So, you can say they had been privy to hearing and seeing a lot. Years ago, when the allegations first came to surface about Michael Jackson, when he was alive, this person told me that one of Jackson's stylists told her, you know, the people that helped him when he would do his concerts or whatever show, the ones that worked in the background to help him get dressed for whatever he had to do. They told her there was no way Jackson could have done what he was accused of doing because they saw, you know, parts of his body. They just refused to believe that he did it because, you know, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna go into details about how she said it and what she told me they saw, but they just refused to believe that he did that. He was able to do that. I have no idea why Oprah did that interview, but whatever respect she once held from the black community was gone faster than fluorescent bell bottoms. Then came the rumors. They began brewing about how much she really isn't about uplifting the race who helped her grow to who she is now. Multiple black actors had words about her and shared experiences they had with her, and it got to the point where it was hard to not believe it. And then I'm not going to say that just because people come on TV or do an interview and they say this and say that it's all true. I don't believe everything that comes out of a person's mouth. I don't believe everything I read. But then when you have multiple people saying the same thing, that's when you just can't really keep brushing things off unless these people are paid and it's just a sinister plot behind it. And that's why you have 20, 15, 30, 50 people saying the same thing. Then that's a whole different story. But when individuals keep saying the same thing and really don't have anything to gain by saying what they say, then that's when you really have to start paying attention. For me, it was the obvious. Look around our communities. There is so little these folks in the public do for people who look like them. Oprah, you know, I hear about what she does in other countries, but her own town, Chicago. And I can list a whole lot of celebrities that are from Chicago. They're not all black, but, you know, they get up there and then what you fella realize that where you are, you got there because we watched your movies, we watched your TV shows, we listened to your music, and whatever way you got up there, whether it was a dirty, rotten, wicked ritual or whatever you had to do to get where you are, once they put you out there in the spotlight, if no one is receiving you, if no one is interested in what you're doing or saying, and they don't like your movies, you are not going to stay up there. So whatever way you obtain your position, whether you got it organically or you got it from whatever they want you to do to get your positions, if you're not interested if the public is not interested in you, you're not going to stay up there. So when you got up there and we watched your TV shows and we looked at your movies and we listened to your music and they saw how the Gym Pop responded, that's how you stayed up there. So once you become irrelevant to this industry, they will kick you out. So for you to still be up there, either you're doing something behind the scenes that they like, or whatever you're doing in front of the scenes, and it's still garnishing attention to the gym pop, from the gym pop, then that's how you stay up there. But you guys, I guess you kind of forget that if you know how to support other people, especially black folks, black actors, rappers, what have you, if you know how to support from the gym pop, the ones who look like you might as well pack your bag and move to some deserted island that we never heard of. Because once black folks stop supporting you, I don't care what your ethnicity or race is, once we start supporting you, it's a done deal. Unless you're just one of those white people that only got your support from the white community, and oh well, whatever. That means we're not interested in you anyway. And going back to discussing these public figures who are in high places that can do so much to help the communities that supported them, there is so little, you gotta believe there is some unseen written memo that threatens black successful people not to do a damn thing for their community or else. And these Sambos, alleged Sambos, do as they're told. So it's time to take a good look at these celebs and these public figures who only speak when it's involving things that isn't directly linked to the atrocities of the black community. They are too quiet when they need to speak up and out, but then they run their mouths when they need to just shut up. You know, the youth speaking up for, endangered animals and the LBGT. How many people need to speak up for the LBG community? The LBG community has support on lock at this point. You even got people coming out of the church speaking up for them. But when it comes to Black America, what? Black who? It's like, come on, Jesus. And my issue with the LBGT community is you can live the way you want to live. Hey, we all have a free will. The only issue I have is how selfish they can be. When something happens to them, they want the whole world to stop and pause and be like, hey, pay attention. The LBGTQ community has something to get off their chest. Again, they want everybody's attention. But when it comes to somebody else, another group, and I'm not just speaking mainly about black folks, any other group has a issue in this country or around the world, they are silent as a church mouse. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So that was basically the rise and fall of Oprah. Once Oprah, in a sense, demonstrated that she could care less about the support of the black community, that's when she fell off the rails. You can have all the support you want from white America. It only goes so far because we know what they support. Anything that's not black. Or when they want to, what you guys say? Assimilate? No. What's the culture appropriation? Oh, they good for that. So when you have this entertainer who has majority of white support, we're probably not interested in you. We're really not. Because whatever you've done to gain white America's support, to them, you are benign and you are not a threat to their fragile minds. Fragility. You're not a threat. You say all the things that make them laugh. You say all the things that make them feel comfortable and make them feel like their ancestors weren't as brutish and barbaric as they really are. So when you have that kind of support from white America, we really ain't rocking with you anyway. But when you come out and tell the truth and what they don't want to hear, then and you don't have their support, then we like, oh, okay, that's when I want to listen to what you're trying to say. Back to Oprah. Oprah, you made this bed. You need to fix it whatever way you can. If it's possible, it's nowhere on this earth why you should be as rich as you are. And if these things are true, these allegations about you is true, ain't nowhere in the world you need to be that doggone stingy and cold everything you guys do is going to come back on you. So there's been a lot of talk about you, Oprah, in the negative. A lot of talk about you. So maybe it's time for your stuff to come out. And I saw this video where this person said, you know, if you look in the media, all black men are being attacked. It's like, you know what? Here's what I have to say about that. If your ass didn't do anything and all these are false allegations, you ain't got nothing to worry about. They're always attacking black folks, black men, black women. Why are you acting like this brand new? That's what they do. But the thing is, the real kicker is, if these things are true, it's not an attack. It's the truth coming out. If these things are a lie, then it's time for your season of lying and being shifty and being foul and being dirty and rotten. It's time for the truth to come out. It's time for you to be exposed. It happens all the time. So if you ain't did anything wrong and these allegations are not true, you don't have anything to be concerned about. Those people who are coming out lying against you, they're going to get it. Some kind of way, their life is going to be interrupted for lying. But if these things are true, it means your season is over, and deal with it. Stop coming up with all this, oh, they're attacking black men. Stop doing, to the ones who are doing things, stop doing things so you won't be attacked. Because everything is in an attack. When the truth come out about you, if you're doing foul, wicked, perverted things behind closed doors, then yeah, you should have known one day the truth is going to come out. There's nothing said that I don't believe. Because honestly, God's been telling me about T.D. Jakes in the early 90s when he was first popping. Check this out.
The worst that could happen if everything was true, all I got to do is repent sincerely from my heart.
If it wasn't true, you wouldn't even said that. If there was no way on this earth that was true, that you weren't hooked up with Diddy and doing those things at that party, like it's being alleged, it would be a need for you to even say anything like that. You wouldn't even let nothing come out your mouth like that. If it was true, all I gotta do is repent. That sounds like pride and arrogance, and you just told on yourself, sir. It was just something about that guy I just wasn't feeling. It still stayed the same way. I never felt different about him. I never felt different about T.D. Jakes. Every time people brought him up and used him as an example, oh my God, I heard this message from T.D. Jakes. I just want to just, ugh. You guys still believe and listen to this man? Y'all can't see the truth? And what's so sad is you got people sitting there actually believing that or trying to pretend like this man is a saint. Want me to tell you why? The reason why they want to believe this man is a saint is because most of them ain't doing right. And they know if this man's secret's coming out there, it's going to come out too. That's all it is. A lot of folks rock with these no good for nothing pastors because they know they ain't doing right either. And they ain't got no foundation to call them out because they ain't right. So they don't have a problem with a pastor that's full of shit. They don't have a problem with him. Because if he get cleaned up and start really actually representing God, they gonna have to get cleaned up. And a lot of these people ain't trying to get cleaned up. Church is a social club. Don't get me started. Let me go. Oprah, time to do right. Because all that wealth you gained, whatever way you got it, you can lose it. All right, I'm about to be out. Thank you for your time and attention, and check out some of my other videos. Thank you for your support. If you haven't subscribed, thank you for subscribing. Please subscribe, and I'm sure you won't be disappointed in a lot of the content that we have created for this channel. Be safe, and I'm out. See you in the next video.